Hey, this is Stu coming to you with another Ask Stuart video. Today I'm joined by the boss man. You alright, boss? How you doing, mate? Say hello. Oh, yeah, you always have to get involved too. Here's the bear. Hello, bear. Getting up in my grill. The thing with Bear is he has to get up in the grill. There's no sort of in between. There's no margin. You just have to keep the face away. Otherwise, he is right up in your grill. Alright, so I wanted to do a video today following on from a conversation I had with one of our system consultants where we were just really talking about, generally the flow of people who join our community, looking to start businesses, specifically online businesses, and how we best serve people in a way when they ask the question of, what are my chances of success, and how do we do it with, reality to it? How do we do it with integrity? And how do we do it in a way, more important than anything, that we give enough insight and a strong enough perspective that it's going to serve them in their journey? And what we decided is it was best for me to just shoot a video and share this insight so we can put it online and, of course, share it with anyone who wants to check it out, really. And so when it comes to this idea of succeeding in any area of life, I don't want to preach to the choir here, but I think that we can all agree that it is very unusual that we succeed in everything that we put our hand to. I know from my own life journey, there are many things that I've set out to do with good intention and haven't followed through on. But the things that I have tended to do well at, and the things that I've tended to succeed in, are the things that I've been most committed to. And so that's really a given, is, whenever you're going into something, it's really worthwhile checking in with yourself and just asking, are you really committed to what it's going to take to succeed? It doesn't matter whether it's the gym, a new relationship, whether it's a business. And, one of the things I've kind of had to learn, beyond mid-30s now, and what I found is probably since about the age of 28, 29, maybe 30, I've been a little bit more delicate with myself, a little bit more real, and I genuinely ask myself, do I really want this? Because in my younger years, I'd kind of just said yes to everything and give everything a go and, give it my best shot. Whereas these days, I'm probably a little bit more precious around my time, if I'm honest with you. And so I really do have to ask myself before I go into anything that I know is going to be, reasonably challenged, do I really want this? So that's the first thing that I will say. But far beyond that, let's actually keep it really real here, like success and the chances of succeeding going into something like a new business online. So first thing I want to say is if you just go onto Google and you do a search and you type in something along the lines of new business success or startup business success or small business success, you're going to find all sorts of sort of data and statistics and that kind of stuff. But one of the things I would say is pretty common is we tend to hear that first year business failure rate is around 60%. Some people say, or some report higher. Within 5 years, it's as high as into the sort of 80%, even more. And within 10 years, quite often you'll see reports like into the 90%. And so I don't know how valid these are and even how they sort of check these things out, and if it's just a case of looking at businesses that have registered and haven't followed through on their filings, or how they do these things. But here's what I'm going to say. Let's just assume first year business failure is 60%. Okay, quite a high statistic. That means most people, or more, the majority of people that start a new business are going to fail. And in my experience, I would say that's true. I would agree with that within the first year. But here's the sort of light at the end of the tunnel. Here's what I want to share, is probably the most important thing of everything I'm going to share, but this is going to be quite a detailed conversation. That's businesses fail, okay? Not people. 60% of businesses, or think of it as 60% of ideas, fail. Sure. I mean, I can relate to that a lot in my life. I would say 60% of my ideas fail, no matter how sort of headstrong I think I am at the time. And that's why it gets more and more important over the years to sort of make sure if I'm going to do something, I really do want it. And so when you think of it from this perspective, it's not people fail. You shouldn't go through life thinking that, well, statistics say 60% of businesses fail, so, the chances are, I'll fail too. Because if there is one commonality I've seen with people who succeed in life, let alone in business, it's the people that really have consistent and persistent action towards the goals that they have. And I think we can all agree that, it's almost common sense. Like if you're committed to something and you don't quit, then you'll not fail. Whether it takes 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you're not going to fail. And so think about this. Think about this for a moment. Maybe you can relate. Maybe you've done this through your own journey. I certainly have. If you start a business, okay, and it's an idea, and you find in the first year it's not working out for you, it's not a good fit for you, you're not getting the results you want, maybe it's not aligned with your vision for your future, and you decide to move on from it, then what do I see happen all the time? What do you probably see all the time? Is those people then go on to the next idea. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, a lot of people actually will sort of tend to say, like, you know, shiny bullets and, you know, this sort of syndrome of like jumping from one thing to another. And that's true. Like, you definitely don't want to do that in life, in business, in relationships or anything else, probably. I mean, it's down to you and what you want, but I would say most people probably don't want to do that. And so you don't want to be distracted by, you know, shiny object syndrome and be jumping from one thing to another. But in actual reality, let's say you do go into your first business, you start to learn some really good skills. That happened with me in my first business. But then you sort of, as you go through that journey, discover new ideas that are more appealing to you, or you have a newer vision. Maybe it's a bigger vision, and you move on from it. That's going to be a business that falls into the sort of failed statistic because you've not followed through on that initial idea. And so as you really start to sort of think about your own life, and as you really start to look at people around you and the people that are succeeding around you in the things that they set out to do, I think we can all agree that they're the ones that are just consistent and persistent. So to me, the most important question when you're starting out, and if you're going into business for the first time, is what is it you actually want? You know, what is the outcome that you want? Do you want no staff? Do you want to be able to travel the world? Do you want to build a big team? Do you want to store products? Do you want to have physical products? Do you want to have to worry about shipping and fulfillment? Are you happy to, I should say, do things like shipping and fulfillment? Or would you rather leverage automation and other platforms, maybe like Amazon or similar platforms, to do all that handling for you? Affiliate marketing, great business model that we really focus on teaching when starting out. Why? Because it's the simplest of all the business models that we've seen over the years online. But don't twist my words. Simple doesn't mean easy. So here's another thing for you to think about. People always ask questions like this, you know, is affiliate marketing easy? Now, the problem with that type of question is that it's relative to the person that you ask. So I'll look at my journey online in my first year. Okay, so within 6 months of me starting affiliate marketing, I was doing pretty damn well, frankly. Now, my business partner, Jay, had 2 years of sheer struggle. 2 years of sheer struggle. Now, if you can imagine sort of 2 years in, when, you know, Jay had been struggling for 2 years straight, and I was now sort of 18 months into sort of really doing well with affiliate marketing, and you sort of bumped into me and you said, hey, Stu, you know, is affiliate marketing easy? You know, well, if I was to turn around and say, well, actually, yeah, you know, it's pretty easy. It's definitely simple. You know, there's a steep learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty easy. Would that be my truth? Would it be fair for me to share that perspective with you? You'll probably agree it would be. Now, if you bumped into Jay and you said to Jay, like, is affiliate marketing or doing business online, direct sales online easy? He'd probably tell you, hell no. I've been at this for 2 years. You know, it's not been easy. I'm making some progress, but, you know, damn, you better be prepared for a steep, long, hard learning curve. Why? Because that's his truth. And so when you go into, you know, asking questions and you're looking for insight, you've got to be very, very careful that you're not taking other people's perspective and then trying to make it your own. Because if you ask the guy that says, yeah, it's pretty easy, and then you get started and then 6 months in you're finding it really hard, you're going to start to question yourself. You're going to start to question your reality. Maybe you'll start to question them. And then you become maybe more cynical. One thing I've said to our sales team, our whole team, in fact, for many, many years, is that, look, we're really here to provide above and beyond experiences and products and training and insights to support people in their journey. But one thing we'll probably never do is convert a cynic, and nor do we probably want to. Someone who's cynical, who's always looking for someone else to blame, or who's always looking for reasons not to succeed. Whereas skepticism is a very natural thing. When I came into business online, I was very skeptical. I was very skeptical of, you know, the different things I was seeing, reading, observing. I remember one of the first sort of pages and videos I came across as a guy, he's a friend of mine now, called Chris. And he was talking about how his business generated 100,000 a month in revenue. And to me, that was like, you know, just unbelievable. 100,000 a month in revenue. Well, our businesses do well beyond 10 times that every month now. And so again, that's a relative thing. Now I look back at that and it's like, yeah, that's understandable. He was doing pretty well. Whereas at that time, a decade ago, I was like, oh my God, this is just unbelievable that a business could do, over $1 million in sales when it's just him, and I think he had one business partner at that time. And it was just incredible to me. And so you really want to avoid looking for too many other perspectives from a diverse range of people, and do your own due diligence and make up your own mind. If there is one bit of advice I would give somebody who's going into business, whether it's into affiliate marketing, e-commerce, selling physical products online, if you're going into starting a business from scratch, is you've got to make up your own mind in terms of the type of business you want to build, the type of result that you're looking for, the type of lifestyle that you want to create. And as you start to get clear on what that would be, which we call a vision, then you can make an informed decision. Is it worth it? Is it worth doing the time? Is it worth investing the effort to get to events, maybe learn from people at seminars, doing online courses and everything else? Because when you really know what you're looking to go out and achieve, the magic ingredient, if there is one, is consistent and persistent action. I'm going to wrap it up just going back to, like I say, my original journey. You see, I first started with the franchise business. I invested £12,000 to start that business. And I learned some things. I struggled with it. Toward the end, before I walked away from that business, I was starting to get some traction. I had started to implement some things that I was doing that was different to the way I was being told to do it by the franchisors. And I started to get some results. But my vision changed. And I was like, actually, even if I turn this business into a success, it's not going to serve me. It's a local business. It involved a lot of door-to-door selling and cold calling and visiting and meeting businesses. And I came to this realization that in today's world, you don't need to do that if you don't want to. And I didn't want to. And so that's why I then went into affiliate marketing, because I wanted to just sell stuff, collect the cash, get the checks, and be able to do it from my laptop anywhere in the world. And so when I got married up with that vision, you can't undo that vision. You can't sort of create a vision for a better future and then kind of undo it. It's going to be there. And so that's not a bad thing, because what it meant is I went out and got the skill sets, the mindsets, the mentors that were going to enable me to make that vision a reality. And that is when I really made the commitment to succeed online. And in my first year of getting clear on my vision, it was a very good year for me, because there were no excuses. I put in the work, I put in the energy, and I put in the effort. So I don't think you're ever going to get an accurate idea of how easy this journey is going to be for you, whether it's simple to you or not, because it's relative. I also don't know what your chances of success will be, but I do know this. After working with thousands of people over the years, there's only one commonality in the people that succeed, whether it's fast or whether it's slow. And that is that they are persistent and consistent toward moving in the direction of the goals that they have. And the brilliant thing about today's world is there's so many different ways that you can skin a cat, as they say. Once you've got digital skills, there are so many different business models that you can go into. We're seeing in our community such a diverse range of people who are typically starting out with the affiliate model, just learning how to sell something online, and then that's creating the energy, the desire, and the motivation to keep on going. And then often it makes them a little bit more creative and go into other different types of businesses, sometimes sourcing physical products, sometimes going into coaching, sometimes going into just generally e-commerce. And we're seeing people doing things like services and agencies. And I think at first it can seem super overwhelming, like where do you even begin? But you just got to begin with getting clear on your vision and committing to that vision. And you'll find the answers, you'll find the education, whether that's with us or anywhere else. All right, so I hope this video anyway has been somewhat helpful. I am going to take the dogs out for a little walk and look forward to seeing you in another one very soon.